Have you ever considered that something as simple as the oil you cook with could be quietly undermining your brain's health? Picture this. Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke. That adds up to nearly 800,000 people a year. And it isn't always a matter of genetics or the inevitable march of time. Often, the cause is hiding in plain sight, on the plates we fill day after day. When we think of brain health, our minds tend to drift to crossword puzzles and memory games. But the truth is, some of the most potent protectors and destroyers of your brain are waiting right there in your kitchen pantry. In this video, we're going to gently pull back the curtain on 5 harmful fats that can put your brain at serious risk, and 5 healing ones that can help you stay sharp, steady, and strong well into your golden years. But I won't give it all away just yet. Stick with me, because some of these might surprise you. Even the fats you've always thought were healthy might not be as friendly as they seem. And before we dive in, let me ask you something. If you're the kind of person who's always curious to learn how everyday foods affect your health, just drop a quick 1 in the comments. If you usually just eat whatever's convenient, drop a 0. Either way, you're in exactly the right place. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more helpful insights from Health 365. All right, let's begin with a type of fat that might be lurking in your favorite snacks and see why it's quietly increasing your risk of a stroke. First up, trans fats. You'll find them in things like deep-fried chicken, the crispy fries from your favorite fast food place, or even those soft, fluffy pastries on the grocery shelf that never seem to go stale. Trans fats are created when manufacturers turn liquid oils into solid fats, like shortening or margarine, through a process called hydrogenation. Sounds scientific, doesn't it? But here's the frightening part. They don't just sit harmlessly in our bodies. These fats trigger inflammation in our blood vessels, damage the delicate lining of our arteries, and raise our bad cholesterol levels. It's like setting the stage for a stroke, one bite at a time. A study published in the journal Neurology tracked over 1,600 older adults and found that those with higher levels of trans fats in their blood had up to a 50% greater risk of developing dementia. That's not just memory loss. It's your brain's intricate wiring slowly fraying over time. Think about it. Every time you eat that golden brown fried food, cooked in oil that's been used over and over, you could be feeding the fire of inflammation in your brain. So, what can you do? Start by checking food labels for partially hydrogenated oils. If you see those words, put the item right back on the shelf. And if you're craving something crunchy, try air-fried vegetables or a handful of nuts instead. You'll get that satisfying texture without the toxic burden. Now, let's talk about another kind of fat that's common in our kitchens, but can quietly elevate your stroke risk even further: saturated fats. These are the fats that make your steak juicy, your butter rich, and your bacon irresistible. But while they may delight your taste buds, they aren't always so kind to your arteries. Saturated fats are mostly found in red meat, full-fat dairy like butter and cream, lard, and tropical oils like palm oil. The problem is that when we consume too much, they raise our levels of LDL cholesterol, the kind doctors call bad cholesterol. And when LDL gets too high, it begins to build up inside your blood vessels, narrowing the path for blood to flow. That means less oxygen can reach your brain, and the risk of clots and strokes goes up. In fact, a major review in the British Medical Journal showed that replacing just 5% of your daily calories from saturated fat with healthier fats could reduce your risk of stroke by nearly 20%. That's a simple shift with a powerful reward. Imagine starting your morning with a buttery croissant, cooking your eggs in bacon grease, and then enjoying a creamy stew for dinner. It might feel comforting, but that daily pattern adds up, and your brain is the one that pays the price. Here's a small step you can take today. Swap out butter for olive oil when you cook. Choose leaner cuts of meat, and maybe try a meatless Monday every now and then. Your heart and your brain will thank you. Coming up next is a fat most people believe is healthy, but too much of it can tip the scales and stir up serious trouble. Omega-6 fatty acids. The name sounds healthy, right? After all, they're technically essential fats, and your body does need them. But here's the catch. Too much omega-6, especially without enough omega-3 to balance it, can actually fuel inflammation. You'll find omega-6 fatty acids in many common vegetable oils like corn, soybean, and sunflower oil. These are staples in processed foods and deep-fried meals. Think of fast food fries, store-bought salad dressings, and even some crackers. The average modern diet has an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio that is wildly out of balance, sometimes as high as 20 to 1. Ideally, that ratio should be closer to 4 to 1, or even 2 to 1. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people with a higher omega-6 to omega-3 ratio had significantly more markers of inflammation and a greater risk of cardiovascular problems. So here's what you can do. Start replacing those refined vegetable oils with healthier options, like extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. At the same time, try to add more omega-3 rich foods to your plate, like salmon, walnuts, chia seeds, or ground flaxseed. It's not about cutting out omega-6 completely, but about restoring a healthy, natural balance. Now, let's turn to a type of cholesterol that becomes especially dangerous when it gets damaged. And it's more common than you might think. We're talking about oxidized LDL cholesterol. LDL is often called the bad cholesterol. But here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. It becomes truly dangerous when it gets oxidized. Oxidized LDL is like rusted metal in your bloodstream. It doesn't just float by harmlessly. It sticks to your artery walls, causes inflammation, and kicks off the process of plaque buildup. Over time, this narrows your arteries and dramatically raises your risk of stroke and heart attack. So where does oxidized LDL come from? Mostly from eating foods fried in reused oil, the kind you find at fast food restaurants or street food stands, where oil is heated again and again until it turns dark and sticky. It's also common in old animal fats that have been sitting in your fridge or freezer for too long. A study published in the journal Atherosclerosis found that people with higher levels of oxidized LDL had a significantly greater risk of stroke and cognitive decline, even when their total cholesterol numbers looked perfectly normal. It's not just about the amount of cholesterol, but the quality. What can you do today? Try to avoid deep-fried fast food, especially when you're unsure how fresh the oil is. Cook at home whenever possible and use fresh ingredients. And fill your diet with antioxidant-rich foods like berries, leafy greens, and green tea. They act like a shield, helping to prevent LDL from oxidizing in the first place. Next, one more fat you've likely eaten this week that may be silently increasing your stroke risk with every bite: hydrogenated oils. These are the fats used to make margarine, shortening, and many processed baked goods. They're engineered to give food a longer shelf life and that perfect, flaky texture. But inside your body, they're doing far more harm than good. Hydrogenated oils are another major source of trans fats, even if the label says 0 grams. That's because in the US, a product can claim to have 0 trans fat if it contains less than half a gram per serving. So if you eat multiple servings or several different products in one day, those trace amounts can add up quickly. These fats are especially dangerous because they don't just raise your bad cholesterol, they actually lower your good cholesterol too. That double whammy effect makes your blood vessels more prone to inflammation, clots, and ultimately, stroke. According to research in the journal Circulation, people with diets high in hydrogenated oils had a significantly increased risk of ischemic stroke, the kind caused by blocked blood flow to the brain. Think of it like this. Each time you spread margarine on your toast or bite into a packaged cookie, you may be feeding the very fats that increase your risk of a brain clot. So what's the alternative? Choose natural spreads like avocado or nut butters. When buying baked goods, look for non-hydrogenated on the label. Or better yet, try making your own at home with whole ingredients. Now that we've talked about the fats to avoid, let's move into something more hopeful: the fats that can protect and nourish your brain for years to come. Let's start with omega-3 fatty acids. These are the kinds of fats your brain absolutely loves. You'll find them in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, as well as in chia seeds, flax seeds, and walnuts. Omega-3s do something remarkable. They reduce inflammation, help keep your blood flowing smoothly, and even prevent platelets from clumping together, which lowers your risk of the clots that can lead to a stroke. One study, published in Stroke, the Journal of the American Heart Association, followed more than 70,000 people and found that those who regularly ate omega-3-rich fish had a significantly lower risk of stroke. What's more, omega-3s are key building blocks of your brain's cell membranes. They help maintain flexibility, support clear communication between brain cells, and may even slow age-related cognitive decline. If you're not a fan of fish, don't worry. There are plenty of plant-based options. A sprinkle of chia seeds on your oatmeal, a spoonful of ground flaxseed in your smoothie, or a handful of walnuts as an afternoon snack can all make a real difference. Start small. Maybe aim for fish twice a week, or add a tablespoon of flaxseed to your daily routine. Your brain will thank you for every bite. Next, let's move on to another kind of fat that doesn't just protect your brain, it helps clean up your cholesterol too. We're talking about monounsaturated fats, those heart-healthy, brain-friendly oils that do more than just taste good. These fats are abundant in olive oil, avocados, almonds, and cashews. If you've ever enjoyed a drizzle of olive oil on a fresh salad or spread avocado on toast, you've already had a taste of these good guys. What makes monounsaturated fats so special is their ability to lower LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that clogs arteries, while simultaneously increasing HDL cholesterol, the good kind that helps sweep the bad stuff away. When your blood vessels are clear and flexible, blood flows more freely to your brain, which helps reduce your risk of stroke and supports sharper thinking. In one long-term study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, people who ate diets high in monounsaturated fats had significantly lower rates of stroke and memory loss over time. These aren't tiny benefits. This is real protection for your aging brain, and you don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Small changes can help. Try switching from butter to extra virgin olive oil for cooking. Snack on a handful of almonds instead of chips. Add a few avocado slices to your sandwich or salad. Coming up next is a group of fats that often get overlooked, but they work quietly in the background to support your brain and your heart at the same time. Polyunsaturated fats. These are another team of essential fats that quietly work behind the scenes to protect your brain. You'll find them in sunflower oil, flaxseed oil, and in foods like walnuts and sunflower seeds. These fats are essential, meaning your body can't make them. You have to get them from your diet. So, what makes them so valuable? Polyunsaturated fats help lower total cholesterol and triglycerides, which improves your overall heart health. And when your heart is working better, your brain benefits too, because strong circulation keeps oxygen and nutrients flowing right where they're needed most. Research published in the journal. Stroke followed adults through over 60 and found that those with higher intakes of polyunsaturated fats had a lower risk of developing blood clots and narrowing of the arteries. This translates to a lower chance of stroke, better memory retention, and more mental clarity as we age. And it's easy to include these in your meals. Drizzle flaxseed oil over steamed vegetables. Use sunflower oil for light sautéing. Sprinkle some sunflower seeds or walnuts over your oatmeal or yogurt. These small tweaks might seem insignificant, but over time, they add up to something big, a brain that stays strong, focused, and clear. Next, we'll look at a unique kind of fat that gets converted into pure energy, helping your brain stay sharp and resilient. It's a special type you may not hear about often. Medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs. These fats are most commonly found in pure coconut oil, and they're quite different from the long-chain fats found in most other oils. Why are MCTs so unique? Because your body doesn't store them. It converts them directly into energy. This means they're quickly used as fuel by your brain and muscles without needing to go through a long, complex digestive process. For older adults, this is a huge advantage. As we age, our metabolism naturally slows down, but MCTs offer a clean, fast-burning fuel source that your brain can rely on. Studies in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience have shown that MCTs may help improve cognitive function in people with mild memory issues. They also help reduce oxidative stress, that internal rust that damages cells and accelerates aging in the brain. Think of MCTs as a gentle spark plug for your brain, keeping things running smoothly, especially when your energy levels start to dip. So how can you get more of them? Try adding a teaspoon of virgin coconut oil to your morning coffee or smoothie. Use it for light cooking, or mix it into oatmeal for a subtle, nutty flavor. Just be sure to use it in moderation. As with all fats, balance is key. Finally, let's talk about a lesser-known group of fats that quietly support your brain's very structure, and they're hiding in foods you might already have in your fridge. Phospholipids. These are the very building blocks of your brain's cell membranes. You'll find them in egg yolks and soybeans, two foods that often get a bad rap, but actually carry some pretty remarkable benefits. Phospholipids help keep your brain cells flexible, strong, and able to communicate with one another. They're like the insulation on electrical wires. Without them, signals can't travel efficiently between your neurons. This becomes especially important as we age, when brain cells naturally begin to lose some of that protective coating. Research published in the journal Nutrients found that phospholipids, especially a type called phosphatidylserine, can help improve memory, attention, and mood in older adults. In other words, they help keep your mental gears turning smoothly even into your 70s and beyond. So instead of tossing out the yolk and eating only egg whites, consider keeping the whole egg, especially if you're choosing pasture-raised eggs, which offer even more nutrients. And if you enjoy tofu, edamame, or soy milk, those are great sources of phospholipids too. You don't need fancy supplements or exotic ingredients, just a return to simple, nourishing foods that your brain already knows how to use. Now that we've explored both the harmful and healing fats in our daily meals, I hope you're feeling a little more empowered. The choices we make in the kitchen, what we fry with, what we drizzle, what we snack on, can quietly shape the health of our brain and the strength of our memory for years to come. You don't need to change everything overnight. Even one small shift, like swapping margarine for olive oil or adding a handful of walnuts to your day, sends your brain a powerful message. I've got your back. The truth is, it's never too late. Your brain is always adapting, always healing, always responding to care. And that care can start with something as simple as what you put on your plate today. If this video made you think differently about the fats you eat, I invite you to share it with someone you love. And if you want more videos that gently guide you toward better health, subscribe to Health 365. We're on this journey together, growing, learning, and taking care of this one body we've been given. You've made it this far, and that already says something beautiful about how much you value your health. Keep going. Your brain deserves it.